Hi everyone, it is Dr. Tapia here, and I'm just going to give you a few pointers when it comes to citing the charts and the information you're going to come across and use in your Project X for your World History Final. In this presentation, just so you know, it's going to be very quick, but you have an accompanying slide deck that you can refer to. But in this, I'm going to teach you, give you some pointers on how to cite a web page from our World in Data and from OER. I am also going to give you some pointers on how to cite a chart from our World in Data and from Gapminder. And then very quickly, I'm going to show you how to figure out your in-text citations so that you know what to put in the parentheses at the end of your sentences as you're writing your essay. And lastly, a quick reminder on how to export your MLA works cited page. The first thing we need to do is set up our project in Noodle Tools. All of you have done this in your English class before, so this should be a bit of review, but you're going to go to noodletools.com, you're going to click on Login, and you are going to create a new project. We would love if all of you would name your project your last name and Project X. Okay, you are going to stick to an MLA citation style, and as far as the citation level, we are going to go with advanced so that we have that chart option. Once you do that, you will go ahead and click submit. And just like in English class, we would like you to submit it to a teacher's project inbox. So again, if I hover under sharing and I just click under there, I can click on share to share with a teacher's inbox, and what you folks will do is you will type in your teacher's last name, your world history teacher's last name, select the block you belong to, and then click done. And now your teacher can see it, and so can the librarians. Okay, and once you're done with that, you can click into your project. And so now here is where I'm going to help you with citing a web page versus a chart. So if we look at this example right here, this is a web page called Future Population Growth, and it comes from our World in Data. Now, what I want to differentiate for you when you look at data is sometimes you're going to be citing, right? If you are going to use the words, the qualitative analysis that the author Max Roser has written, we need to give him credit as the author of this web page. Okay, so we would just cite that as a web page. So for example, if I'm gonna, use this paragraph and paraphrase it, I need to cite it as a web page. I'm gonna click on New Source, Website, and Web Page, right? You folks are going to click in the URL, and I have it all here for you. You're going to use this as your URL. This is our bigger website. This is the name of our web page article title. Here is our author, and we're going to give him credit for that. And the publication date is the most recent date that it says it was revised or published. Okay, so that one is pretty straightforward. But when it comes to citing a chart, right, so a lot of these web pages have charts. Once I go in and I manipulate this chart, or if in my research I am actually talking about this chart specifically, you need to cite the chart you are talking about. If you are making a claim or a prediction for population growth in the next 30 years or whatever it is that you're analyzing, and you're manipulating these charts and using them as evidence for your claim, you need to cite the chart itself. So for example, if I want to see population growth within the next 20 years, right? So it's 2022. Notice how the title is changing up here. And maybe to 2042, right? If I manipulate it and I change it to a certain country, even if I just reference the evidence here that in 20 years this is what the population growth is going to be, I need to cite the chart itself. So how am I going to do that? I'm going to click on New Source. I'm getting this chart from a website, but it is a chart. So it's here in the green. I click on that, right? And then here you have all the information that you will need to figure out how to cite that chart in particular. First, well, you have your title of the chart right here. We know that our website is Our World in Data. You'll notice that the title already includes where this data came from. It came from the UN, so that's fine. And our publication date here is 2019. So I have it also here on this slide for you if we take a closer look. Container website, the title of your chart. If you can't copy and paste this, try holding down your control button and then selecting it. It should select it for you. The publisher is found at the bottom. It is Global Change Data Lab. And then in order to get the URL, you're going to want to click on the little share button that's here, and you're going to copy this link because this link will bring us directly to the chart that you are referencing or that you have created. If you cite a chart from Gapminder, you have a little less information and you might need to work a little bit more, but again, you'll cite it as a map or chart. The name of the container website is Gapminder, and that is also the publisher. The URL you will just grab from the address bar. And then as far as the title of the chart, you are going to create the descriptor. So in the case of this chart, I have population by age in the year 2032. So I could name my title Population by Age in 2032. So you will create that. Okay, and as long as you put in that information to describe your chart, you will be just fine. And you would save that as well. So you can see my sample citation is right there. Really, it's just trying to give as much information about that chart as possible. And then lastly, if you are citing a web page, again, this is review because many of you cited a web page in your English class, but if you are citing something from the OER project, for example, right? Again, looking at in Noodle Tools, you would just hit New Source, Website, Web Page. You would click the URL, you copy and paste that in there. Our date of publication, actually this source doesn't give like a very clear last revised or last published date, so you just leave it blank. Remember, you don't make up stuff for information that you don't have. The most recent date of access is today. That's for any source. If you're accessing it today, you just click that. And then again, we are going to give credit to our author here, again found under the name of the article. So I could just copy this, right, and then separate out her first name and her last name here. The name of the web page title is the name of your article. Again, using that copy and paste, Control-C and Control-V. It's in English already, so I do not need to translate it. And the name of our website is OER, and they are also the publisher of our site. And that's it, and you just click Save. When I'm writing my essay and I need to figure out how to cite this in text, what I can do is if I am citing this chart, for example, and I write about it in my own words, right, paraphrasing it, and if I reference this chart, I can click on the three dots here, and I would just hit in-text citation. And that tells me that, hey, at the end of your sentence, you want to write this in the parentheses, and then the period comes at the end of your sentence. So easy enough. You can do that for any of your sources. And then lastly, of course, the most important part is making sure you have that works cited page there at the end of your essay. So again, you just click on Export Print, Print and Export to Google Docs. It will ask, do you want to export all of your sources? I do, so I click Submit. And as you know, this will generate that perfectly formatted works cited page. You do not mess with it. You don't change the font. You don't change what it says up here where it says works cited. You do just want to copy and paste this to the end of your essay. And again, we have our citations in alphabetical order. There's a hanging indent, and we won't get busted for plagiarism. So if you have any questions, please consult the slide deck, or you're more than welcome to ask me or Mr. Castillo for any help. Good luck, and see you later.